Hey everybody, what's up? I want to talk about lyrics to a song written by the great Taylor Swift when it comes to parental estrangement. The song is Mean. And when you're talking about sons and daughters nowadays who are estranged from their parents, they are so mean. And I'll be the first to admit, I have been I've been mistreated. I ain't perfect, but this is what the song goes. You, with your words like knives and swords, and weapons that you use against me, you have knocked me off my feet again, got me feeling like a nothing. You, with your voice like nails on a chalkboard, calling me out when I'm wounded, you picking on the weaker man. Well, you can take me down with one single blow, but you don't know what you don't know. Someday, I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're gonna be is mean. Someday I'll be big enough so you can't hit me, and all you're ever gonna be is mean. Why you gotta be so mean? That's what it's like when you're dealing with sons and daughters who are using every excuse in the book to cut ties with you. You can cut ties with someone and not be so mean. You could say, you know what, I'm just gonna go my own way. I'm gonna do my own thing. You don't have to drag your parents through the mud, and you ain't gotta be so mean. And when I think about it, and I've talked about my situation with my mom and dad in the past, I try to talk about my feelings and how I felt in the situation. But my parents are my parents are who they are, and my dad was who he was, and he was not perfect. In fact, my dad drank for a majority of my life, and there was times he was absent, and I try to stick to the facts at hand and try to give my experiences. But I would never call my parents names, and I would never say I was abused. I can give examples of things I had experienced, but what's the point? And my parents weren't called to be perfect. We were raised in a Catholic family. The virtual white picket fence. We seemed to have it all together. And in our house, I just didn't feel it was not very warm. And I'm just pointing out facts. Both of my parents were flawed people. I'm grateful for the childhood I was given. I'm fortunate that I went to a Catholic grade school, that I had aunts and uncles and grandparents, and I was surrounded by love. I really was. So did I expect my parents to be perfect? No, that's not even possible. But I don't think I was ever mean to my parents. If I was, I apologize for it. There was a time I'm sure I was frustrated with my dad, and we had enough of his drinking, and I had to separate from him and set healthy boundaries, but I still never thought he was mean. And that's all there was to it. So if you want to be mean to your parents, there's something innately wrong with you. And to be honest with you, you're going to have to answer to God, You're going to have to account to him, because I let my daughters go, so they're out in this world, and when we're all gone and I pass away, I have to face God and take accountability, and so do my kids. So you can disconnect from your parents without being mean. Why? Because it's not cool. And that's all there is to it. So that's all I've got, and I will be back.